Okay, there we go, guys. We are back once again. I'm sorry I'm a little bit later. I had a very busy day and busy evening. Give me a minute and I will quickly post an X that we are live once again. So everybody that wants to join can be joining in here. And then we start to discuss today's data, what we have ahead of us here. Give me a moment. Give me a moment. Do the quick post and then in 10 minutes we have the PMI data. There we go. Do the quick post and then in 10 minutes we have the PMI. Okay. Just did a quick post on X that we are live. So now we can start discussing what we have ahead of us. I'm getting a lot of notifications, so I also think we have some news. Composite PMI. Let me check. Look at that, at 7 p.m. ISM Services PMI. That's what we are here for. And also if you're going to select on trading economics, how important data is going to be. So you have 1, 2 and 3 stars. 3 stars is logically the most important data. And there you can see that the ISM Services PMI is actually some crucial and very important data we have ahead of us here. Tomorrow we are also going to see a big day with PCE. Consumer sentiment, personal income, personal spending. So here some possible recession indicators, data, PCE inflation data. That's going to have a big effect on the rate cut probabilities. So yes, I'm opening the last page I need here, and then I can also be reading through the chat here. By the way, we are also pumping up here. We are also pumping up. Look at that here on the 5 minutes. Coming down also ever so slightly. But we saw quite a large dump and then immediately a big pump back up. So what is going on here? Okay, there we go. Can everybody hear me, by the way? Can everybody hear me? Please make sure in the chat if you can hear me now, if everything is working. And then I will open one final chart, and that is going to be Bitcoin with the US business cycle, because in the end, that is what we are going to take a look into once again here. Bitcoin. Yes, okay, amazing. Then the PMI. Because this is the data we've coming out once again, some PMI data. So this is going to tell us the next data here in 7 minutes of how the US business cycle is evolving. If we are going to see higher data than expected, it's always going to be bullish for Bitcoin. If we can see a number coming in above the 50, that chance is definitely not high, but then you can state the US business cycle is possibly going to enter expansion, or is entering expansion once again, because now, and has been for the last 3 years, the US business cycle has been in contraction, and we do know from the used business cycle that usually Bitcoin peaks with a lot of euphoria exactly at the moment where also the used business cycle peaks out, and that makes a lot of sense because the business cycle basically shows you how good or how not good it's going with the US middle class, with Main Street, with the normal and average USA citizen. That's what the business cycle basically shows you. So yeah, let's see how the data will be coming out here. ISM services PMI, big data. Previous one 52.4, consensus 52.1, forecast 52.3. So we are hoping for a number coming out higher than 52.3, maybe even in 54, 52.4. Actually, the forecast now is that the PMI will be coming out lower than last time, which means that the US business cycle contracted since last time. So let's see. Also, I see some stuff coming in that Bitcoin now pumped over 10k. But actually, in the short term, we are coming down once again. Some big volatility here. And what Bitcoin is actually facing, and this is something we also discussed in this morning's update video, is the next level I will show now, the yearly open, this level. This is where Bitcoin is getting rejected once again. If Bitcoin can break above this level, confirm a daily close above it, it is going to be massively bullish. But this is a very important level to reclaim, to possibly look into and continuing of the relief rally back towards the next important SMA lines, in my opinion. So let's see if that can be happening in the near future. My Ethereum trading position is also performing quite well here, so that's absolutely amazing. And the profit of over $500 still now actually coming down back again, because when I opened it was almost 1k. But yes, very nice. We're still in the same position. If you do also want to open an Ethereum trade, a Bitcoin trade, or an altcoin trade, because you can trade a lot of altcoins in Albank, make sure to come over to that link in the description on this live stream, because there you can be claiming an amazing overall in Albank, basically, and I'll quickly show it. And 50% deposit, 50% deposit bonus, and generous refund. Deposit bonus up to 2.5k. Generous refund up to 5k on your first position. So make sure to check it out if you're getting interested in that. Then I will quickly open the news. There we go. Trump accounts are aimed at making young people shareholders. Bull market stays strong. NATO to spend over 1 billion per month in 2026 to supply weapons to Ukraine for its war with Russia. Doesn't seem like we are getting a ceasefire soon. Okay. Interesting. In 4 minutes we have the data coming out. For the people that don't know, the data shows you how it's going with the US business cycle, and we always do want to see this data coming in higher than expected, because Bitcoin usually tops out in a lot of euphoria with the peak of the business cycle, or very close to the peak of the business cycle. But for now, that definitely has not been the case. Like this. For now, it has not been the case. So let's see. Bitcoin is showing a lot of volatility just before the data is coming out, so that makes it even more interesting. But yeah, this is simply going to be the most important level to reclaim. You can see it here. We saw a rejection here, and now once again there too. Shows the significance of this level for Bitcoin. I'll also open short-term Bitcoin chart again, 5 minutes. I think we have to wait for Powell 10th of December we will know more. But I think for the Powell speech itself, the PCE data, so Friday could definitely be causing some volatility still, because that is the last major data just before the Powell meeting, basically, if I'm right. Because if you look through it, then here on, let's see, yeah, you only have the JOLTS job openings at 9 December still. So basically a massive jobs report also before the FOMC. But this is the last inflation data before the FOMC. 5 minutes. Bitcoin is reversing its entire pump here. Not looking that good. Data in 1 minute now. So let's switch over to Trading Economics and X, where we can be watching it live. Let's see. What is it going to be today? Let's hope for a number higher than 52.4. That is definitely going to be looking good. One minute. Okay. There we go. Oh. It should be coming out now. 52.6. Higher than expected. Higher than expected. That's very good. Let me quickly post that on X also. Looks very good. That is good. Okay, just did a quick post here on the Crypto Rover account. There we go. Breaking news end November ISM services PMI 52.6 versus 52.4 previous data and estimated 52.1. So it's beating expectations by a lot actually. And Bitcoin is also finding its way back up on the data. Let's see if that could continue here. It looks like Bitcoin wants to be breaking higher, but the price action we are seeing here is quite insane, dropping from 93.3 all the way back to 91, then back to 93.7, then back to 92.3. Quite some weird price data. Are we stuck in stagflation? It's hard to say. Looking at the data, not necessarily. But yeah, if you're looking at the business cycle just in its total, maybe indeed. I think this is also going to be a good moment to ask some questions if you have some about Bitcoin, another crypto coin, something like that. Make sure to let us know in the comments now, because today will be somewhat of a more chill stream. I will be streaming for another 50 minutes here minimum, always half an hour or longer, but I think that tomorrow will also be kind of a chill one with only the initial jobless claims. Yeah, basically only the initial jobless claims, so some US labor market data. And on Friday, that will be the big stream, I think. There are a lot of sell orders. Let's open the Bitcoin liquidation heat map and talk about it. 2 weekly. Indeed, we do have a lot of liquidity here, stacking up, still above Bitcoin. It's logical because people are also seeing these rejections. They are simply shorting the yearly open level here. So let's see if bears have the strength to push Bitcoin lower. But for now, Bitcoin does look bullish on the very short term because you simply have a higher low, which looks good. And now grinding against the yearly open. And yes, hopefully we can be reclaiming it and continue the relief already to the top side. And if Bitcoin is going to see a smaller rejection from here, let's hope it will be once again higher low, and then eventually we will definitely be breaking this trend. And then we are going to hunt the highs, I would say. At 107 maybe even. But you have a few very big ones here also. A lot of different levels. It's crunch time again. I bet on the big bull market in 2026. Let's hope so. Then you definitely don't believe in the 4-year cycle. I still hope for it. I just don't think it's the most realistic scenario now. But if it's going to happen, I will be prepared for it. And then we will just keep our eyes on data. It will be with the dovish Fed and of course with no black swan. Yeah, on the other hand, we could still see a black swan happening. And then, for example, just massive stimulus. If you go back, Bitcoin's bouncing up now. That's nice. Look at this price action, insane. But talking about the black swan, what I've been thinking, and this might be a bit out of the box. If you get the Bitcoin chart here, and then zoom in, and if we then overlay it with the Fed balance sheet, there we go. Overlay it with the Fed balance sheet. And if you then look into what happened last time QT ended, and by now everybody knows QT ended. On the channel we've been talking about it a lot. But actually, of course, at the 1st December, everybody started talking about it because their QT did actually end. So at some moment, we are going to see a very neutral Fed balance sheet. And then the question is going to be, well, when could QE getting started? We lately saw a first signal of this with the liquidity stress from the banks itself. Because if you overlay it with the Ripple, let me see if I can find this one. Ripple, that's it. Let me check what this indicator was called again. I also have a chart about it. There it is. This is a very interesting chart. So we have the Fed balance sheet, and there we saw the R-Bond SRD, so basically the reverse repo transactions from the Federal Reserve. Actually, last time we saw this amount of liquidity stress, so it means that banks all of a sudden at the same time need more liquidity and want more liquidity, and that's where the Fed comes over with these liquidity injections, basically. We've seen it happening a lot of times also here in 2019, and that makes it so interesting because we saw the ending of QT. Before that, we saw liquidity stress getting started, which is exactly what is happening once again here now. If this trend is going to continue, you're basically exactly repeating what happened here in this from this move down, where Bitcoin also topped out with no euphoria at the top, and then saw a slightly little drop, bouncing from the 50 weekly moving average, dropping below it, bouncing back up. And then we saw a major black swan hitting the market. That does not have to happen again, but we must acknowledge the fact that because of this black swan, the Fed started injecting even more liquidity and basically started massive QE, because that's of course what happened for COVID. Massive QE. That's how they saved the economy. And they saved the economy for the short term, but for the long term they didn't, because QE basically creates such crazy amounts of money, that first of all, you create major asset bubbles, and that's what happened with Bitcoin at the all-time highs, big euphoria, and then we saw a big dump back lower. It's called an asset bubble, and gets created by QE. But what I want to say with this is now we're starting to see liquidity stress once again. We could see there's definitely a good chance that we see QE getting started in 2026, I would say. Most definitely. And if you then have a black swan happening, and if you are going to be prepared, and you do see that massive QE getting started, then that's going to be a big opportunity, because then I think it is going to be the exact repetition of what happened with COVID. The exact repetition. So, like stated in a lot of my videos, I think the Federal Reserve balance sheet is going to be absolutely critical here for us the next few months as investors. And that is why on the channel we have been live streaming all of the important data. Because no matter what, all of this data will have somewhat of an effect on the rate cut decisions, on the decision of the Federal Reserve, on their monetary policy, what they're going to do with the rate cut, for example, but also the PMI has long-term effects on the Federal Reserve monetary policy. And something else we should not forget is, of course, that we do get, I think in May 2026, we are going to get a very bullish Fed president. Because now the Ossoff has said becoming the next Fed chair did reach an all-time high of 85% on prediction market call sheet. And Trump effectively announces that Kevin Hassett will be the next Fed chair. 2026 is going to be a big year. Indeed. It will absolutely be a big year. Absolutely. But yeah, lots of stuff. And just even more proof that we should be looking into the Federal Reserve monetary policy very closely. Because it's going to be super important. So yeah. I think the 4-year cycle is gone. Okay. Let's see. Another, by the way, similarity with 2009 is the fact that the US business cycle also did not top here. Actually, we were at big lows for the US business cycle. But yeah, same can be said for this Bitcoin top. It was indeed at a different level, but not that far away from each other. So yeah, let's see. Some very interesting data points, most definitely. Have to go see you later, Danny. I will also be ending in a minute because I don't see that much crash coming in. Don't see that much stuff happening. Let's look into Bitcoin once again. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching, by the way. 5 minutes. It's very weird price action, honestly. Very weird. ATM trade. Still looking good. Like stated, if you do want to claim that offer on Albank, make sure to come over. Claim your 50% deposit bonus up to 2.5k, chance refund up to 5k to open your first trading position if you're getting interested in that. What I also want to show is if you do want more updates, also come over to the VIP Telegram channel where we are actively sharing trading positions, like here. A lot of new trading positions coming in once again, so make sure I don't want to show that much because that's not going to be fair against of all the users. But yeah, make sure to come over and join if you're getting interested in that. Conclusion: good data, very weird Bitcoin price action. Let's see if we can be reclaiming the yearly open. That is going to be the most important thing. If we can be doing so, I think Bitcoin will see a big continuation up higher to, for example, the 97k level first. And if we can be breaking there, we are going to shoot higher, over 100k probably. So let's see. Let's see. Yearly open remains to be the most important level here, which we will stay looking at. And okay guys, thank you all so much for watching. I don't think there is much more to discuss for today. Let's spare some stuff up for tomorrow morning's update video once again, because tomorrow morning we will be back with another update video. Also, tomorrow we'll be back with another live stream a little bit earlier on the day about the US labor market data, initial jobless claims. And if you're not going to watch that one, make sure to come and watch the one after that, the PCE data, because that is going to be an absolutely massive stream. So make sure to come and check that one out. That's going to be a very big one, I think. Make sure to be there. And of course, a lot of people were at the Fed Chair Powell speech. That was absolutely amazing. And tomorrow morning, another update video once again. And then let's go. We'll speak to you guys later.